I spent 13 years studying English in school. 13 years of grammar charts, vocabulary lists, and verb conjugation tables. And after all that time, you'd think I'd be fluent, right? Wrong. I could maybe stumble through a newspaper article, but ask me to actually speak, to have a simple, real conversation, my mind would just go completely blank. My heart would start pounding in my chest. All the words I knew, all the rules I had memorized, poof, they just vanished. I was frustrated, embarrassed, and honestly, I was about to give up. You've probably felt this way too. You've studied English for years, but you still don't speak well. You get the grammar, but when you try to talk, you get stuck. You hesitate. You feel that panic rising. It's a terrible feeling. For years, I thought the problem was me. I just wasn't a language person. But the problem wasn't me. It was the method. And when I finally stumbled upon a simple, almost laughably easy method that flipped everything I knew on its head, my English didn't just improve, it transformed. This one shift unlocked faster vocabulary growth and a confidence in speaking that I truly never thought was possible.
Let's be honest, the way most of us were taught English in school is completely broken. It's all about rules, memorization, and picking the language apart like it's a science experiment. Think about it. We're handed textbooks filled with complex grammar explanations. We spend months memorizing verb tenses, past perfect continuous, future perfect, tenses that, let's be real, even native speakers would have to Google. We're told to learn these long, random lists of vocabulary words, totally disconnected from how people actually talk. It's like being given all the individual parts of a car engine, the pistons, the spark plugs, the cylinders, and being told, okay, you know how a car works now, go drive. But then you get in the driver's seat and you freeze. You know what a piston does, but you don't know how to feel the car, how to merge into traffic, or how to navigate a busy street. Learning a language by studying grammar first is the exact same thing. You're analyzing the language, not acquiring it. You're thinking about English, not thinking in English. And that's the real reason you're so frustrated. This old method creates a terrible habit. Every time you try to speak, your brain goes through this clunky mental checklist. First, you think of the sentence in your own language, then you start translating, word by word. While you're translating, you're desperately trying to remember the right grammar rule. Wait, is this past simple or present perfect? Do I need an or a the here? Is the preposition in, on, or at? The whole process is slow, exhausting, and completely unnatural. Native speakers don't do this. When I speak English now, I don't think about grammar rules. I don't conjugate verbs in my head. The words just come out automatically. That's the goal. That's fluency. But the grammar translation method actively stops you from getting there. It trains you to be a slow, hesitant translator, not a relaxed, confident speaker. It builds a prison of grammar in your mind, and the fear of making a mistake becomes the prison guard. Every time you open your mouth, that guard is there, whispering, "Is that right? Are you sure? You're going to sound stupid." So you end up saying nothing at all, or you speak in short, broken sentences, terrified of looking bad. This fear is a direct result of a method that focuses on being perfect instead of just communicating. I lived in that prison for over a decade. I thought if I just studied more, if I just memorized one more grammar book, it would finally click. But it never did. It felt like trying to climb a mountain made of sand. For every step forward, I'd slide 2 steps back. My confidence was completely shot. I started to believe that speaking fluent English was a dream for other people, not for me.
My breaking point came during a particularly embarrassing moment. I was at a social event with a few international visitors. A native English speaker, a friendly woman from Canada, came up to me and asked a simple question. "So, what do you do for fun?" Super simple, right? My brain immediately went into its usual panic mode. The mental checklist started running. I was thinking about tenses, prepositions, word order. I could feel my face getting hot. I mumbled some jumbled mess about, "I am liking to read books." The grammar was clunky. My confidence was at 0. She was kind about it, but I saw that flicker of confusion in her eyes. I just felt like a total failure. That night, I went home completely defeated and ready to quit. I opened my computer, not to study, but just to zone out on YouTube. I don't even remember what I searched for, but a video popped up with a title like Learn English Without Studying Grammar. It sounded like a scam, totally ridiculous, but I was desperate, so I clicked. The guy in the video, a lot like A.J. Hogue, who founded the Effortless English system, started talking about a completely different approach. He said, "Stop studying grammar." He said it with so much confidence it made me listen. He explained that we should learn English the same way we all learned our first language as a child. Think about it. Did your mother give you grammar lessons when you were 2? Did she make you memorize vocabulary lists? Of course not. You learned by listening. You spent the first couple of years of your life just absorbing the sounds, the rhythm, and the patterns of the language from your parents and everyone around you. Then you started to speak. Simple words at first, then simple sentences. You made tons of mistakes. When you said something like, "I runned outside," did your parents punish you or give you a lecture on irregular verbs? No, they understood what you meant. They'd probably just smile and say, "Oh, you ran outside? That's great." You learned through understandable input and by hearing the correct version naturally, not through formal study. That was my epiphany, the light bulb moment. The key wasn't to study more grammar. The key was to put the grammar books aside and start doing something else entirely. The solution wasn't more analysis, it was more input. Specifically, a massive amount of easy, understandable, and interesting listening and reading. The method he described was all about building an intuitive feel for the language, not a conscious knowledge of its rules. It was about letting your brain do what it's naturally designed to do, learn a language
This
through
is the
context.
path I want to share
That
with
night,
you.
I closed my grammar books for good, and I started on a new path, the effortless path. This is the path I want to share with you. If my story of frustration sounds even a little bit familiar, and if you feel trapped by grammar rules and fear, then stick with me, because the solution is way simpler than you think. And hey, if this idea is already clicking for you, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It really helps other frustrated learners find their way out of the grammar prison. So what is this effortless method? It's not magic. It's a system built on 2 main pillars: reading and listening. But not just any reading and listening. It's a specific kind of reading and listening that lets your brain soak up English naturally and automatically, just like when you were a kid. The goal is to get thousands of correct natural English sentences logged in your brain. Let's break down the key techniques. Technique 1. Read easy sentences out loud. First, you need to read, but not silently. You have to read out loud. And, this is crucial, you have to read things that are easy for you. I'm talking about material where you already know 90 to 95% of the words. This could be things like graded readers, which are books written for different learner levels, or even children's stories. Why easy? Because when it's easy, you're not struggling to figure out what it means. Your brain is free to focus on the patterns, the rhythm, the flow of the language, and how to pronounce the words. When you read silently, you're only using your eyes. When you read out loud, you're using your eyes, your mouth, your ears, and your voice. It's a full body workout for your English skills. You're training your tongue and mouth muscles to make English sounds, which builds muscle memory for clear pronunciation. You're also training your ear to connect the written word with the spoken sound. Instead of just seeing the word water, you're saying water and hearing yourself say water. This creates a much stronger connection in your brain. As you do this, you start to internalize the natural structure of English. You begin to feel what sounds right without ever thinking about the grammar rule behind it.
Technique 2. The power of shadowing. This next technique might be the most powerful tool for sounding natural and fluent. It's called shadowing. It's simple. You listen to a native speaker and you repeat what they say, either at the exact same time or a split second after. You become their echo, their shadow. This is super active listening. Unlike passive listening, where your mind can drift off, shadowing forces you to pay close attention to every single detail. The pronunciation, the intonation, the music of the sentence, the rhythm, and the pauses. When you shadow, you're basically trying to become the person you're listening to. You mimic their mouth movements, their tone, their emotion. Lots of research in language acquisition has shown that shadowing significantly improves a learner's accent, rhythm, and overall speaking ability. Why does it work so well? First, it dramatically improves your pronunciation and accent. By copying a native speaker, you're practicing the physical part of fluency. You're learning the music of English, not just the words. Second, it makes your speech smoother. English has a natural rhythm where some words are stressed more than others. Shadowing helps you internalize this flow so you hesitate less. It teaches you to link words together like a native speaker instead of speaking word by word. Third, it makes you an amazing listener. To shadow correctly, you have to listen with incredible focus. This sharpens your ability to understand fast-talking native speakers in movies or real life. Technique 3. Deep learning through stories. The final piece is repetition, but not the boring kind where you write a word 100 times. This is deep learning. The Effortless English system uses a technique called listen and answer stories. In these lessons, you hear a short, simple story. Then the narrator asks you super simple questions about it. Your job is to answer out loud right away without thinking. For example, the story might be, there is a boy named John. He goes to the store. He buys an apple. The questions would be things like, is there a boy? You answer, yes, there is a boy. What's his name? You answer, his name is John. Does he go to the school? You answer, no, he doesn't go to the school. He goes to the store. What does he buy? You answer, he buys an apple. See how simple that is? You're not thinking about grammar at all. You're just listening and responding, but your brain is hearing and repeating correct grammar over and over again. You hear, does he go? And you answer, he goes. You're practicing the third-person S without ever thinking about the third-person singular present tense rule. You do this with the same story told in different tenses, past, future. Through hundreds of these repetitions, your brain just absorbs the grammar patterns automatically. This is how you go from knowing the rule to using the rule without even trying.
Talking about this method is one thing, but showing you is way better. So let's do a quick practice session right now. I'm going to read a very simple paragraph. First time through, just listen. Maria loves the weekend. Every Saturday, she wakes up early and makes a big cup of coffee. She sits on her balcony and reads a book. Sometimes her friend David visits her. They talk for hours about everything and nothing. They enjoy the simple, quiet moments. Okay, you got that? Simple stuff. Now let's use the techniques. First, reading aloud. I want you to read the paragraph with me. I'll put the text on the screen. Let's go slowly and focus on pronouncing each word clearly. Ready? Maria loves the weekend. Every Saturday, she wakes up early and makes a big cup of coffee. She sits on her balcony and reads a book. Sometimes her friend David visits her. They talk for hours about everything and nothing. They enjoy the simple, quiet moments. Good. Now let's try it again a little faster with a more natural rhythm. Maria loves the weekend. Every Saturday, she wakes up early and makes a big cup of coffee. She sits on her balcony and reads a book. Sometimes her friend David visits her. They talk for hours about everything and nothing. They enjoy the simple, quiet moments. Awesome! Just by doing that, you're already training your mouth and ears. Now for the really powerful part, shadowing. I'm going to read the paragraph sentence by sentence. I want you to be my echo. Don't wait for me to finish the whole sentence. Try to speak almost at the same time as me, just a fraction of a second behind. Let's give it a shot. I'll say it, you shadow me. Maria loves the weekend.
Every Saturday, she wakes up early and makes a big cup of coffee. She sits on her balcony and reads a book. Sometimes her friend David visits her. They talk for hours about everything and nothing. They enjoy the simple, quiet moments. How did that feel? It might feel weird or tricky at first, and that's totally normal. You might not catch every word. That doesn't matter. The goal is to copy the rhythm, the music. Let's try it one more time, and this time I'll read the whole paragraph without long pauses. Your job is just to follow along, shadowing as best you can. Ready? Maria loves the weekend. Every Saturday, she wakes up early and makes a big cup of coffee. She sits on her balcony and reads a book. Sometimes her friend David visits her. They talk for hours about everything and nothing. They enjoy the simple, quiet moments. Fantastic work! If you do this for just 10-15 minutes a day, your pronunciation and fluency will improve like crazy. You're building the muscle memory you need to speak English clearly. Finally, imagine the deep learning part. From that tiny story, I could ask you tons of questions. Does Maria love the week? No, she loves the weekend. Who loves the weekend? Maria. Does she wake up late? No, she wakes up early. What does she make? A big cup of coffee. Where does she sit? On her balcony. Does David visit her every day? No, sometimes. You can see how this works. By answering these questions instantly, you're making your brain produce correct English on autopilot. This is how you build real deep fluency. Now you know the techniques, but knowing isn't enough. You've got to take action. The secret to making this work is building a consistent daily habit. You don't need to practice for hours. A little bit every day is way more effective than a long session once a week. Here's a sample routine you can steal and make your own. The goal is to weave English into your daily life. Morning, 10 to 15 minutes. Start your day with some input. While you're making breakfast or having your coffee, listen to some easy English audio. This could be an audiobook for learners, a slow podcast, or a lesson from a program like Effortless English. Pick a short 1 to 2 minute part and practice shadowing it for just 10 minutes. This wakes up the English part of your brain and starts your day off right. Midday, 15 to 20 minutes. On your lunch break or commute, it's time for active practice. This is a great time to do your listen and answer stories. Spend 15 minutes actively answering the questions out loud. If you're in public, you can just whisper the answers. This sharpens your response time and makes grammar automatic. Or you can use this time to read an easy article or a chapter from a graded reader out loud for 15 minutes. Evening, 20 to 30 minutes. In the evening, focus on fun, relaxing input. This is not study time. Watch a TV show or a movie in English. Start with English subtitles, not subtitles in your own language. The goal is to connect the sound to the text. As you get better, challenge yourself to watch without any subtitles. Listen to an English podcast or audiobook about something you're actually interested in. The key here is enjoyment. When you're hooked on the story, you forget you're learning. That's when the real magic happens. This whole routine is about an hour a day, broken into small pieces. It's not about finding extra time, it's about using the little pockets of time you already have. By spending time with English like this every day, you build a powerful habit that will lead you to fluency. You're creating an immersion environment for yourself, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. I know finding the right materials to get started can be a challenge. You need stuff that's easy, interesting, and has both text and audio. To make it easier for you, I've put together a free PDF guide with my top recommended resources for this method. It has links to great graded readers, podcasts for learners, and YouTube channels that use these exact techniques. You can download it for free at the link in the description below. It's the perfect way to kickstart your own effortless English routine. I want you to remember that feeling I described at the beginning. The frustration, the fear, the feeling of being stuck.
It's not your fault. You were just using a broken method. But you don't have to stay stuck. The path to speaking English fluently and confidently isn't through more grammar study. It's through tons of easy, understandable, and interesting input. It's through listening, reading, shadowing, and repetition. This method works because it works with your brain's natural ability to learn a language, not against it. It builds your confidence because you start with easy stuff and feel successful from day one. It helps you get over your fear of speaking because you practice speaking out loud in a low-pressure way every single day. I really, truly wish I had known about this 13 years ago. It would have saved me so much time, frustration, and self-doubt. But it's not too late for me, and it's definitely not too late for you. You can start today. Put the grammar books aside, embrace the power of listening, and start speaking from day one. You can do this. You can become a confident, fluent English speaker. So here's my question for you. What's the first easy book, story, or podcast you're going to listen to today? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'd love to see what you choose for your first step on this new journey. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips to help you speak English powerfully and automatically.